Hi everybody, this is Cindy from Ideas Times 2. Welcome back to our channel. Today I am excited to share a project with you that I have just completed and is available in our Etsy shop. And even though there are pictures in the listing, I just didn't think they did this journal credit. The cover is very simple and plain, and I didn't know if anybody would really take the time to look to see what was inside. So I wanted to share this with you. And I'm super excited because I think it just turned out beautifully, and I love this journal. So I would like to apologize that, normally we don't do multiple flip throughs in a row. We try to balance things out with a couple of tutorials and craft with me kind of videos along with our flip throughs, but we've had some design team projects and now this one. So I promise I will be back with a tutorial soon, but today is just a flip through. So this journal it's pretty hefty, as you can see. It's about 9 inches by 6 inches by, I don't know, that looks like 3. Let's measure it. 3, just under 3 inches, barely under 3 inches. And is pretty full. It has a couple hundred pages, about 200, and 4 signatures that you can see I've sewn directly into the spine. The theme of this journal is Frankenstein's monster, although I prefer to call him a creature. He was not created a monster, he became one. So I love the book. It's one of my favorite books, and so I prefer to call him a creature. And in the book he calls himself Adam, so that's what I have in the nameplate. The name comes out. If you want to replace that, that's not a problem. The cover of the book is a very old French entomology book that I have repurposed, and I redid the spine, and the spine is reinforced suede, and it's a little tight, but the book does open and close really well. But the suede is a little thick, so the binding is a little tight. So the closure here is just wrapped sari silk, and you really don't even need it. It doesn't have any alligator mouth or anything. It closes and perfectly fine. So let's take a look on the inside. So as you see, you can see it's tight, but everything opens and closes fine. It's just that, and I think it will loosen up as it's used, but the suede is really good quality leather and is kind of thick, and I thought it was the best fabric for this journal, simply because I imagined when I started working on this, it's kind of a concept journal, that this was the creature's journal, and I had found it in my attic, and it had been sitting in in a corner of the attic for a couple of hundred years. And so I wanted the journal to be kind of rustic, as if it were actually created by the creature. So on the inside, no pockets on the front cover, just the title, Frankenstein, or the Modern Prometheus, and the 4 signatures are all different kinds of papers, and you can see this one starts with an eco print, and it says, and throughout the journal are quotes from the book, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. And this one says, I ought to be thy Adam, but I am rather the fallen angel, and which is where I got the title for the journal. So throughout the journal there are vintage vocabulary cards that kind of go with the theme. Here we have just a fold of a book page that I've sewn on, and it's got a little writing on the back, but lots of room for journaling on there. a book page that has some coffee stained paper and a little bit of fabric sewn on there. Pocket with a journaling card, some antique lace. The book pages, there are book pages in here, some from Frankenstein. And in the book, if you're only familiar with Frankenstein from the movies, you might have some misconceptions about the intelligence of the creature, but he did read, and he he was very intelligent. And so the book pages I have in here are mostly from the books that he did read according to the novel. So here's a book page from a very old copy of Plutarch's Lives. Here's a book a book page from on entomology, because he was lived in the wilderness, in the forest. Here's a little tiny coffee stained glassine bag that's been layered. It has a couple of cards in there. One is a quote from the book, and a piece of marbled paper. The creature also loved music, so I have some little touches of music and book music sheets in the book as well. Some lace paper, some washi tape, I did a lot of sewing in the book, and I left all of the strings kind of to go with that rustic feel. Here's a large tag, and the images on this tag and right here are from a digital from Tailor Made Designs, if you're familiar with her work. And they just, I thought, were perfect for this project. The map page here is of, on one side is Czechoslovakia and Hungary, on the other side is Germany. A pocket in the center of the signature, and I have a collaged card and just a paper scrap, cardstock scrap. Some more fabric and dyed paper. Lots of quotes from the book. And nothing is too fancy. The book is definitely not too feminine, more gender neutral, considering my concept that it was Frankenstein's creature who made the book. Here's a side pocket with a journaling card, and another little piece from the Lorna Taylor kit, and I can't remember the name of the kit. I bought it a long time ago. So the second signature starts with some more lace paper, a small tag or a small pocket with a card, and another vocabulary card. Another quote from the book. Here's a page from Lord Byron, Lord Byron book. And for those of you familiar with the story, Lord Byron and Mary Shelley and Percy Shelley were really great friends, and they were on vacation together when Mary Shelley started writing the book. So I included a few things from Lord Byron in here as well. A library pocket with a library card and another small tag. So you can see even the book on the book pages, I did put some washi tape and coffee stained paper so you could journal on there. A small belly band with a notebook that can be removed and replaced. And it's all just coffee stained paper. The back is cardstock, so it's nice and sturdy to slip behind the pocket. It's a library or a dictionary page. Another quote here on the bottom with a little cluster in the corner. The center of the signature has the floating pockets, and each pocket has a couple of cards. You can see I used a lot of textiles and fibers in this journal. Another small pocket with this is a library card catalog card. I've had this for a couple of years. I've been holding on to it because it is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and I got it in a pack I bought on eBay, and I've been hoarding this one for a long time to use just for this journal. Some more book pages, coffee stained paper. Third signature has another map, and this is Switzerland and Liechtenstein, and I have a collage up here in the corner. It's a large pocket with fibers, and the book page that I used in here is actually a page from the original text that was in this book, the French entomology book, and if I remember right, it was published in 1913. Some antique lace and some stained cheesecloth on here. This book is very tactile. Lots of fibers and fabrics, and here's a cluster in the corner, the vintage button. Here's side tuck with a collage tag or collage card. Some more washi tape, another small pocket with a couple of cards, Tim Holtz paper, some marbled paper, and another vocabulary card. Some waxed paper. The center of the signature is also a floating pocket made with lace paper. And in here I have some cards and tags. Here's a fold out, and some more Tim Holtz paper. Here's some more journaling cards. This one is actually a Tim Holtz, well, part of it is a Tim Holtz Christmas ephemera pack, and I've sewn it onto a paper scrap and put some washi tape on there. Here's another Tim Holtz card. But a lot of things to do with nature. Another little collage on there, and a thatched cottage that goes with the book. If you've read the book, a lot of the ephemera will make, maybe more sense, because it is kind of a theme journal. It is a theme journal. It's more of a concept journal. Some linen fabric sewn on there. Book pages from Paradise Lost. And another collage with a quote from the book. Pocket with a tag. Here's a side pocket, and in there I have a kind of a play on a specimen card, and so it has a cardstock back, Tim Holtz paper, and I made a frame in the front. It's got acetate covering it, and a German Bible page. The text in the background is the Lord's Prayer is right here. If my German is my second language, but it's been a long time since I've spoken it, so but here's the Lord's Prayer, unless I miss my guess. And the pressed plants in here, are from I bought a botanical book on eBay for a couple of dollars, and pressed in the pages of the vintage book were some plants, and I've held on to them, waiting to use them for something, and I decided they'd be perfect for this. So they are in the vintage book page, and it's the Frankenstein takes place in German-speaking. Well, the book, the creature moves around the world. He travels quite a bit, but he grows up. He's created, and he becomes educated in German-speaking Switzerland. And so I have some German text, and this is from a very old book as well. But I made a couple of these cards for this book, and I just think they turned out so beautiful and very simple and plain. The last signature has some more of this gorgeous lace paper that my sister Betsy made. And here's a collage with a card in the side, this little side tuck, and that is very tight. I'm going to have to try to loosen it up a little bit, I think. The envelope opens, and inside is a little notebook, and the notebook has another quote. There's some, both of these pages are from the original book, the French entomology book. Here's a book page, and here's end paper from that. Botanical page, and on the back it has some coffee stained paper, and a small pocket has antique lace and fabric scraps that I sewed on. Here's a card from marbled paper and a Tim Holtz tag. I'm sure the creature was almost 8 feet tall, so I'm sure his shoes were bigger than a size 13 and a half, but I thought that was appropriate for this book. There's a small cluster with some more antique lace. And here we have just some more coffee stained paper and little scraps. This gorgeous green paper. Here's another tag. And a quote from the book: "Beware, for I am fearless and therefore powerful." More quotes. Another floating pocket in the center of the signature with a tag on this book page. Some little lined notebook paper, so cute. Here's an envelope flip, and in the back there's the side tuck with a card in it. The envelope has another card with a collage tag. And it doesn't, seem to be an issue flapping open, but I did put the clip in here just to make sure it stayed stable. Another quote from the book, and a book page, another small pocket with a collage tag. And here's a Franken page I thought was appropriate for this journal. And the quote on here is, "If I cannot inspire love, I will cause fear." And you can see the back. I left all the strings on there. Give it lots of character and texture. The back of this journal has an envelope flip, and I have some crinkle ribbon on there, coffee stained crinkle ribbon, to keep it from flapping around. And it's 5 envelopes, I believe. And the first one opens this way, so it opens like this. And from the side, it has this journaling card. And the back of this journal has an envelope flip, and I have some crinkle ribbon on there, coffee stained crinkle ribbon, to keep it from flapping around. And it's 5 envelopes, I believe. And the first one opens this way, so it opens like this. And from the side, it has this journaling card. and collaged on both sides. And this one has a collaged card. We have a big envelope with a collage on the front, not on the back. And I did make a notebook to go in there, but I think it did make the book a little thick, so I took it out. I will include it, but I do have some vintage French ephemera. I'm not sure how old this is, but it feels very old. The paper is pretty brittle. And the handwriting looks old too, doesn't it? Nobody writes that beautifully anymore. But that is tucked into this envelope. And here we have, this envelope has a small pocket on the front with a card, and it flips here. You can see it's embellished on both sides, and this one opens from the top and has a paper scrap. This envelope with the window on it is obviously collaged, has a fold out in there with some book page in German, lots of German text in here. This quote, the words induced me to turn toward myself. And I really like that one. Another pocket in here in the back of the book with another of my specimen cards, and some more fern and these old pressed plants. And the book page in here is from an old, I was going to say vintage, but I don't know where we go from vintage to antique, but the book was very old. I would consider it an antique. It's older than me, so I'm definitely vintage. And this one is from a first grade school book, a first grade reader. And I thought it was just gorgeous in the frame. So that is tucked in here. So the envelope flip has the tie to keep it from flapping all around. And there are my signatures. So there's the book, plain on the back. The front, very simple, with the 4 signatures sewn directly into the spine. So the book is, I think it just turned out beautifully. It would make a great gift. It's, I think, it does have a lot of, flowers and nature things in there, because the creature had to flee for his life and he wound up in the woods, and so I thought that was appropriate, but he and he liked being around nature and observing nature, so I thought that was appropriate, but I don't think it's overly feminine. So if you're looking for a journal for somebody who's not into a lot of feminine embellishments, this would be a good book for that. And like I said, Frankenstein is one of my favorite books, and I just love the way this one turned out. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I really appreciate it. I hope everybody is staying safe and healthy, and will be back with us soon for a tutorial. If you have not already subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button. Just click on the bell if you want notifications. Please give me a thumbs up if you like my journal. A positive comment would also be appreciated. And have a safe and happy holiday season. and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye, everybody.